We are live.
So it's kind of like the same. But, you know, again, it's something, you can talk. I mean, I would be willing to, you know, part of that. Since I live in the street. Right, I'd like to bring this recess meeting of the Dauphin County Economic Development Corporation back to order at 12:26. We did meet in executive session and talked about personnel issues and other issues relating to the costs of the audit and other things. Kim, thank you for your leave. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pardon me. Thank you very much for your help. And if anybody has any questions, she's somebody that you can reach out to. So that's anytime. Yeah. Thank you. All right. So now what I'm going to do is recess this meeting of the Economic Development Corporation.
I don't think we had a motion to accept the audit.
So was a motion. Thank you, Brooke. Motion made by me, seconded by Mr. Weaver. Any further discussion? Sorry, thank you. So excited. Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor of acceptance of the audit signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise, and the ayes have it. Thank you. Now, before the solicitor's report, I will recess this meeting of the Dauphin County Economic Development Corporation at 12:27, and then reopen the Dauphin County Industrial Development Authority meeting for Thursday, September 18th. Is there a second? Second. Motion is second. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Well, the ayes have it. And we are adjourned back into the IDA meeting. Okay. We're never letting them sit next to you.
I know I have 2 years, but.
I'm sorry. It's okay. So we've tabled the financials. We don't need to go back to the financials. We're pushing those off then next month. Solicitors reported action items. Do you have anything?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do not have anything to report.
Okay. Thank you very much. Under new business, we have a small business loan that I think we're at this point going to table, I think. We need a motion to table that, or yes, I'll make a motion to table the small business loan for Men in the Kitchen conversation or consideration at the moment. I know that there needs to be further discussion with the owners about some of the information in the application. We need to make sure everything's right before we do that. And thank you, Mr. Reader, for pointing that out. And some of those concerns. So we'll get that done and have that on next month's meeting. I'll make that motion. Is there a second? Second. Seconded by Mr. Reader. Thank you. All in favor of any discussion or questions? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. Now under old business. Solar project, Mr. Connor.
Sure, the potential purchaser that responded to the RFP continues to work through due diligence. They recently reported working on structural engineering plans that they feel are necessary to be able to acquire the system and use it the way that they intend to, and also confirming the permitting that exists allows them to do what they plan to do or use the system the way that they want to use it. And so they seem to be hopeful that the engineering stuff would be wrapped up in the near future that would allow, sort of, a schedule or plan to put together to work towards a closing. But the status is that they're still working on structural engineering.
The question over the existing permitting, allowing them to do what they wanted to do, it seems to me that should have been something that they knew going into this. Kind of surprised at that.
Arguably, yes. George may be able to explain it better, but I think that they just want to make sure that the what's generated can be sold it seems to me that they want to double, triple check
Mm-hmm.
what's going on.
I mean, I know that we certainly have the ability to reach out to the PUC and have those conversations, I would assume, since I know
That's what they're checking with people. Sure. Sell power back
right.
to them and not to the county.
What do we think of the timeline is?
They said that the structural report would be hopefully completed in the next week or two. It says. Oh, yeah. There's,
It may be worth mentioning that there was only this was a response to the RFP that the IP put out. But otherwise, I mean, based on, what they've been reporting, there are no obvious concerns of what they've been working on.
Mhm.
Just that it, seems to be taking a while.
About the tax rebates from the government.
That would be a choice.
you mean the SREC?
So,
We are still receiving those. So initially, I think when I had mentioned about the solar farm, 2011, that's rec credits at that time, $350, and that's at that time, Pennsylvania allowed other states to sell power into the PA, well, the market got oversaturated. So last rec credits went from $350 down to $26. So we got killed on our government aspects of the farm. That being said, Pennsylvania had grandfathered in all the companies that were selling SRECs in the PA, and the tax credits went up a little bit. Right now, we're receiving about $75. Nowhere near what it started at 50. Other states, like District of Columbia, Virginia, are getting like $450 in SREC credit because they capped their state to allow for other states to sell it, but they didn't allow. So if Pennsylvania wouldn't allow that from day one, we wouldn't be in this situation. Something we had to control.
SRECs are solar renewable energy credits.
Well, what concerns me a little bit is the kind of tendency of the producers to not necessarily want to welcome solar or any kind of environmentally produced power into the grid. They're slow to take it up. And so I'm hoping that PPL will be, interested. Now, the county, when we produce, and there's energy produced right now, the overage, does that go to PPL? If my memory serves me correctly, isn't that?
Yeah, we sell everything back to PPL,
Right.
to the substation on Michaelstown Road. And but once again, back in 2011, generating about 14 cents per kilowatt hour that PPL was paying us for generating that power.
Right.
Well, I think what happened was PPL realized how much revenue and how much they were paying us to produce energy. They just dropped it down to 4 cents kilowatt hour, 4.10. So at the time that we sued PPL, because we had a power purchase agreement at the time, so we sued them, and the PUC basically split it. They now get about 7.5 cents kilowatt hour that was sunk back to PPL. So once again, an unfortunate situation that happened that killed the revenue for that solar. They won. So things that are out of our control.
Okay, well, we look for a status update before the next meeting. Hopefully. More active. Any other questions? Gaming program update.
Sure. Right now, we are gathering and tracking the sponsorship request letters that were submitted by September 2nd. We are hoping to have those approved at the commissioners meeting next Wednesday. The application deadline is 10/1. Slowly, they are starting to show up, the applications. Other than that, moving forward.
Sharon Brooke, Mr. Chairman, does a great job with that program.
Yes.
She's been doing it so long, she makes it look easy. And it's a lot, it's a very difficult program. A lot of different variables are involved.
Infrastructure bank. Small business loan program. Yeah, we'll take it in this meeting. Correspondence and miscellaneous items. Any board comments? You sure, Mr. Reaper? Ms. Parsons?
Just only that I'm reflecting on the fact that it's been almost a year since the RFP went out and when we had the one response. And it seems in my memory, there was something about, you had to hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, because that was what the buyer wanted.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't have considered a year this to be hurry up.
Yeah, I think we all share that frustration, quite frankly, because we were led to do the same thing. I don't think it was George or anybody else. I mean, it was kind of hearing it from higher up, in the sense of, this is what we need to deal with. But now, we have to wait. So I'm kind of interested to see what they come back with, given the state of some of the things. So I appreciate what you're saying, I really do. We would like to be able to move forward. I know I would, I think everybody else would too. And time is back to year 10 or year before, I guess.
I was after my tenure in solar. I'll speak to the parking now when we get to that.
No, that's good. Yeah, yeah. And we'll get,
But yeah, just one quick point on solar, if I could. Is it gonna be like Columba, one more month? One more month. It's like, we'll be year 2 and we can't say anything. Is it like, it must, like when I
well,
buy
how
a
long?
house, I have to buy it by a certain
Yeah,
date?
how long is the agreement? Isn't there an end date on the signed letter of intent or in that? In any way, did they give us an indication or did we set that expectation?
Well, in terms of a letter of intent, the authorities have sort of passed that because there are other transaction documents.
Right.
That have been prepared and, awaiting their closing.
I mean, is it in our interests to give them a date certain? In that sense, to say, we need to know by, X date or we're, gonna put this out again for bid. And I know that this process is not necessarily staffing. But is that something?
I think that's a good point. Bring up, Mr. Chairman. Possibly vote.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could do that, but I guess
wouldn't have a problem.
I'll ask council and others.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We can look into that
Okay.
in terms of, what's in the agreement. And sort of like, not to get into, giving a legal opinion on the document, but it's one point that we can certainly look into.
Well, let's do this, and then I will make a motion, and thank you for raising that, I guess. We're all, we all are sitting here kind of stuck.
I don't know, maybe-
Well, I was going, okay, so then I can direct you though, as council, to look at the documents and report back to us next month, then we can, if they have anything more, then we can give them an ending.
What are your options to basically give them direction?
Yeah, what are our options, and how quickly could we say, hey, you have 30 days from the next meeting to do something, as an example. Any other comments? Thank you. I'll look for a motion to adjourn at 12:40. So moved by Mr. Rickards. Second by Mr. Reed. All in favor, any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise, and the ayes have it. Thank you. Now I would like to reconvene, thank you. I'm going to reconvene the I will make a motion to reconvene the Economic Development Corporation meeting at 12:41 on Thursday, September 18th. So moved. Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. We're back on the agenda. Solicitors report and action items.
No report.
New business. Parking garage loan.
So we, oh, go ahead.
No, go.
Sure.
Yeah, I thought you were.
Again, you guys can't sit next to one another. You need to move down.
The Economic Development Corporation issued an RFP towards the end of August with regard to the loan that exists on the parking garage that the corporation owns. And there was a response date of September 12th. There were 6 responses that were received. Of those received, the lowest came in from First National Bank proposing to issue the financing at a rate of 4.55% for 2 years. Interest only repayment until the principal would be due when it matures. It also includes a maximum of $3,000 in fees, typically for legal and potentially other closing matters. And I believe that is the recommendation.
I think Dan had a suggestion. Go ahead.
Well,
The only other thing to add is that there is a resolution that has been prepared. If the board determines to accept the First National Bank or any of the other proposals that would authorize the financing process to begin, or transaction documents to be approved and executed, and any other action that would be required to facilitate the financing and closing in order to refinance that loan on the property.
I think I had just said, looking at proposals, some of the banks weren't charging that much in fees. I'd asked George if he was able to negotiate that down. I think one proposal was like 6,000 fees, one was 1,600.
The fees range between 1,500 and 7,500.
Right.
And
They
so
could
the
be zero.
differential in fees between the next lowest bidder was $500, which you more than get the savings by the differential in the rate reduction.
True.
Because I calculated that as well. And this, they all, except for one, had no prepayment penalty as well, so.
And this refinancing will enable us to.
Go in the exec session. No.
We don't want to make
Well, I mean, Mr. Chairman, we do need to discuss that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, and I'm not, look, I'd love to sell that, those apartments and all that.
Just to be sort of
Yeah.
appropriate, is there a motion or a matter that's being discussed for motions? And
There is none other than the major in response to the presentation. But if there needs to be a motion, then I guess the real question is, basically, I'll make the motion that we entertain the FMV contract in terms of refinancing.
And I will second that as it's the lowest bidder, including the origination. You look at the total. So the cost structure is the lowest.
Now the question though is, is there any room for negotiation with them?
I wouldn't have
Yeah.
always.
Well, I mean, do we want to, accept that and ask Mr. Conlon to go back, and see if he can seek a lower, some lower fees? That, if that would be appropriate, then, I would, see if we can do that.
Always good to ask, but it's still the lowest deal.
Yeah,
So
okay, it's the lowest, yeah.
unless someone else is going to lower their rate.
I mean, certainly you can ask. Okay, so, I mean, I would. Yeah, it's worth the phone call.
Absolutely.
But if we want to get the resolution done today, is that what you want to do, Mr. Connor?
Yes.
Yeah, then it's $500?
Yeah, it's a different, it's not a large amount of money.
I think Alex's point is, given the size of the loan
Yeah.
and the rate that they're proposing, coming in the lowest.
Yeah.
Going back in terms of, a max.
Okay.
It sort of could be like seen as nickel and dime, yes.
Okay,
But-
hearing that, there's a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
George is very talented and.
I understand.
Yeah,
Sharp tongue.
If it's appropriate, since you have 4 out of 5 new board members, only you and I were here at this board 20 years ago. Just for the other members, I was looking up, since this is discussion, if it's okay that I give an update of how it all germinated. Is that a regular?
It might be interesting for them to hear that. I'm okay with that.
Do you think the comments are germane to the motion and we should go ahead and vote on the motion, or do you think it,
We won't know until, it could be.
Apparently, it could be.
It's not a big revelation. I mean, we still have to refinance it. You want to do it later in the agenda? I'll leave that up to you and the chair.
it's,
Please, humor me. Go ahead.
Okay. Just for the new board members.
And
And yes, and Pam, sorry. In 2025, or I'm sorry, 2005, 20 years ago, we bought these spaces, the county, 12 feet by 20 feet, not for humans, just for cars, at Market Square Plaza. I believe Mr. Steck and I's acquaintance, Mr. Friscotti and Flynn, owned those, and we bought it for $2 million to acquire 92 specific spots. You can sell them unreserved, more than 92. And we bought them from Flynn and Friscotti at a cost of around $20,000 to $23,000 a space, times 92, you can do the math, 20 years ago. We bought it primarily, I think in this article, I didn't say if it was a good deal or a bad deal, but it was a necessary deal and it made good financial sense because it went with the Veterans Building. We used to own, the IDA owned that building, which was 45,000 square feet. And with the help of our IDA board members at the time, we were able to get Greystone Bank in there for 3 floors and their headquarters. We had 2 law firms, our office, Tri-County, the Visitor Bureau, Beresford Magazine, and a number of other places, including county transition space. So those 8 floors, 45,000 square feet, had 0 parking. So we now have parking, 92 spaces. And it went with the building for them and or any other county employees who want to put in there. I don't know about your houses, but after 20 years, we should be close paid off. Somehow we still are doing this refinancing for about the price. Mr. Steck and I were here at this meeting. We paid for it back in 2005. So that's just an aside, but if there's a way we can sell it back to the county in the future, or look at it to make sure it's maximized the space. Back then, we thought we could get $210 a space reserved and $110 unreserved. That's didn't do the numbers then. I don't want to even ask what we're getting now for these, but that is what made this deal work. So in the future, you may see it keep coming up or being a negative, but I think we can mitigate it. Right now, parking is not at a premium. Staff and I just walked a different parking garage. It's largely empty. And today's a work day at 11 a.m. So just something to consider. That's why it's on your agenda. That's why it's back here. And that's it.
Thank you. Thoughts, Mr. Connor?
Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, they gave you the history that it was needed at the time.
Right.
And we were getting $210 a space.
Yeah.
From the bank, from Greystone, but sold multiple times. I mean, COVID hit us. No one was working. Everyone was working from home, so there multiple people that want parking, hold their parking monthly pass from the spaces. So, I mean, that being said, I mean, that's the nature of downtown right now. You don't have all the state workers back. Businesses are failing due to sustainability issues with no loyal customer base. I mean, that's across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, the pandemic hit us pretty much in a lot of different areas. I mean, it's going to be tough to recover from that until, you get all those state workers back, which I don't think they ever will come back. And that's a problem that Harrisburg's experiencing. We took a little hit from that as well. So, we tried to, in 2020, when we sold the Vets building, it was a package deal. We tried to sell the parking with the building. And at the time, the buyer pulled out at the last minute.
Yep. So
it was the decision of the board to sell the Vets building without the parking. So.
Yeah, I mean, again, while we are an independent body, clearly we, act in the best interests of, we believe, the citizens of Dalton County, but also, the wishes of board of commissioners. And I think, sometimes great ideas don't necessarily come to fruition. And so some of these things have created issues, whether it's a solar farm or parking, both of those we need to solve that. It's unfortunate that, we couldn't offload those spaces to the county here, in terms of parking, or I think about, UPMC or, other places that are in the city. It's just, it's a little frustrating as well because, that was another issue. Ms. Parsons was around during that time. We were told to hurry up, we got to do this deal. And, it's going to make it and save the city and save, it's all part of what was going on in downtown Harrisburg too, in terms of that Harrisburg plan. But now we're in a situation where we need to address it. So, I mean, while there's a motion in a second, if you can talk the bank into lower fees, even though it's $500, whatever. But I'm fine with, moving forward with it. But we still have to move forward and try and find a solution.
The interest only helps us with the payments on the loan. It is kicking the can down the road. If you don't have the revenue to pay for the principal, right? What are you going to do?
Currently, how many spaces are being utilized?
All of them.
But at the rate of, and
Right, $75.
$75, which is set by the county. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are lots of
County employees. It's a mixed match. Brooke has done a great job updating that spreadsheet. We'll have a full update next month for you. And so we can kind of get a gauge on what, I don't want to talk about the numbers now because we don't know them all, but we will know them next month, hopefully. You have something to say?
We do have some vacant spots, but
And if we
we're getting a handle on what we have.
Right.
I feel pretty confident to say that we have 27 spots open.
Okay. So is there any reason that I couldn't take that and go to 27 people and say, you need to pay $210?
We have a waiting list.
Yeah.
So.
So you do, yeah. Okay. I mean, well, that's good. I mean, I knew that there was a way to fill it, but I didn't.
We have a waiting list. I just inherited the parking. I need to make sure that I have enough spots or enough passes.
I mean, he created this.
Fully leased.
So I just need to make sure I have enough fobs to give out to everybody. I mean, our list isn't huge, but
Right.
the county has a list.
Okay.
So I will be working with Jess to give some of their waiting list people a spot. I just need to get a handle on what I have.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, we're talking. I just don't feel that government should be a landlord of anything. I'm not good stewards of that. I mean, this office does a great job administering grant programs. We're not good at it. Right. So we should be leasing things and things of that nature. That's just how I feel about that. And that was the recommendation to sell the assets.
Yeah. No, I know. That's exactly right. All right, so we have a motion and a second. And lots of discussion. Thank you very much for your candid thoughts. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Let's move forward and hope that we can do something with it. I know Dan can probably sell those.
Yeah, absolutely.
All over so.
Staff program reports. Nothing. Okay. CDBG home.
CDBG at home, I think last month I mentioned about President Trump's proposed budget for to eliminate the CDBG program and home program from HUD. That being said, we did receive a free agreement yesterday from HUD.
Okay.
So 1.406426 CDBG, and 485,168.60 for home. So
That's a 2-year grant cycle, right?
that's a 1-year cycle.
It's a 1-year cycle.
So those two allocations are a 1-year cycle. We got the agreements from HUD yesterday, so that's good news. And we'll have another year of the program. Commissioners will sign the agreement and go back to HUD, so positive news.
Okay. That's very good news. Yes, are you, yes, are you gonna introduce people? I'm glad that you're gonna do that. See, I could hear that even though I'm on the other side of it. And I wanted you, please come to the table, Michael Burke, please. And so that you can sit and participate, so that everybody knows who you are. Mr. Congress.
So we want to introduce our new financial coordinator, Mr. Timothy Brooks. Tim, I want to say a few words about yourself and where you've been and what you've done.
Timothy Brooks. Most recently, I was the city's budget manager for the last 3.5 years. Prior to that, I worked in a nonprofit, being a county manager here. Prior to that, was with the state comptroller office, office of the budget, working as a supervisor. Started as a clerk person, ended up as a supervisor for all up there. That's my background in accounting. Outside of that, I'm here to serve.
Well, Tim, thank you so much. Doing your job, learning everything, what's kind of training with her experience in the office. So we got a good team and move forward with the ranks. Everything will open up for you guys.
Great.
So, and I think we did introduce Mr. Burke last month. didn't we?
He was at the gaming meeting. He was not.
Yeah, he wasn't here.
He was not here. This is our first IDA meeting with Burke in the office.
So we have Mr. Michael Burke, and he's been with the county 25 years.
Correct.
And Mike is administering our whole homes repair program. He's boots on the ground. He's done a great job with it. Going in, meeting with the residents, meeting with the applicants, making sure everything's matching up with the grant program. And Mike, you want to say a few words about yourself? And
Like George said, I've been with the county 25 years, transferred over from public safety. It's a interesting transition, something different. but I really enjoy getting to be out there with people and helping everybody out, and even doing with the contractors and fixing a couple of missteps that have been going on along the way. But staff downstairs helped me learn a lot. Picking up on it pretty quick. I haven't had any complaints yet. It's good. Hopefully we keep it that way.
Well, George always, would talk about, his interaction with folks in that whole home repair program sometimes being a little difficult just because of expectations, setting expectations. So
I'm used to difficult, not a
Yeah.
problem.
So good luck. I mean, I know it's tough, but it's a very important program in certain, in my real job, working with the legislature, it's an important program for our local legislators, in Dauphin County. And so it's something that, I think it's neat, and we want more money stuff, so.
And once again, when we opened that program back in 2023, first 2 hours that it opened, we had to shut it down.
Yeah.
We could only do 40 total houses with the dollars that we received from the state. And we had 130 some applications. So like I said, we have a list of applications that we're just waiting for more dollars.
Yeah.
We don't have. So I mean, hopefully, more dollars come for that program so we can assist the people that are on the list. Mike's ready to go with that. We hopefully will close those dollars out that we received from 2023 this year, if not the first quarter of 2026. So we'll be ready to go if there's more dollars that are available for the program. Great. So,
Well,
Thanks.
that being said, George, as kind of just a comment, is there an impact from the lack of state budget on any of the operations that, like it's hamstringing you, that would be good for us to know about? Programs that might not be able to stay open or anything where or any of the other agencies that interact. Are you seeing anything at the county level from the lack of state budget action?
well, the whole homes is a program that we receive the dollar directly from the state. Everything else, this office pretty much is a pass-through entity. So for RACP, other grants, we're a pass-through for entities, whether it be for-profit entities or non-profit entities and municipalities as well. But I know the state changed a lot of the regulations on the LSA grant where you don't need a pass-through. VA sites, a couple of other programs, you don't need a municipal entity to pass the dollars to. You can apply directly to the state. So, right, I think they'd make it more amenable for some for-profits and nonprofits just apply on their own if they didn't have assistance from a local government. But, the whole homes program, the programs are difficult to run. You run into a lot of problems with the contractors, finding good contractors. And a lot of good contractors don't want to get involved in this program due to payment issues. Right. They feel that the government pays slow. So we don't have a lot of responses when we did the RFP. We had to contact a lot of companies to respond. That's a major issue. I don't know whether that's here in Dauphin County or other areas. I know a lot of counties, some counties have their own crews that do their own repairs. We obviously don't have the capacity to do that in this. But it is a thought that possibly if we do receive additional dollars, hiring 2 to 3 construction guys that have the capacity to do electrical, drywall, flooring, plumbing, HVAC, whatever it may be, and allow them to do the work. I mean, it would give us more control over the projects and the process. We just don't have the capacity for that right now, but I know some counties do have their own crews. And the city had their own crew for demolition years ago. Dave Patton, I know, was big, had a big long list of condemned houses in the city that they would demolish, but they eliminated that. I think we some of those involved.
Actually, so yes. Actually, it was a budget item in the last year. We last year's budget, where we added demolition we added a person and resources in the operating budget to help with the demolition process. It's something that is actually a budget line item and assigned to a person.
Yeah, because I know you guys have the equipment, I know you had the backhoes and everything, tearing out the structures. But, so they're gonna start that back up. Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's something that we possibly need to look at in the county. We've never done anything like that. Because you have your costs, you have your benefits and other things involved in hiring people.
Right.
Liability insurance, things of that nature.
Well, I might have raised this before, and a former colleague is involved in Chester County in their home repair program, but he's part of a group, like a nonprofit, and active in Chester County. And so he's kind of from rural Chester County, not from, suburban, but Chester County has done a run program. But it's a group, and he's retired, but there's a group of folks, retired folks, who go out and work for Chester County and do this and volunteer, but they also have access, I think, to like a nonprofit that they get money from to help them, that helps support the whole home repair program in Chester. I'd be glad to reach out to them and connect them with you, or you might, if you know anybody at Chester County that you can talk to, it might be worth a conversation.
Yeah, it's always good to talk to other counties to see how they're going things differently than we're doing here.
Yeah, and they did it in,
Vice versa.
I think they were doing it like in New Jersey or in Delaware. Well, the same group, the same nonprofit was involved. I don't know much more about it, but I'll get some information just to share with you. I mean, because there probably are groups around here that would do it if they maybe knew about it. I don't know.
Habitat locally has a critical home repair program. I don't know if any other nonprofits do as well.
Yeah.
It's income based for applications.
All right. Thank you, staff, and welcome. Tourism, did we talk about tourism?
Tourism opens January 1st, 2026 in the portal system. It'll close I don't want to say, we'll just say April.
Yeah, sometime. We didn't discuss the dates to finalize them yet.
So everything's going well with that program. No issues.
Any correspondence or miscellaneous items?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Robinson, any miscellaneous items? Board comments? Comments from the public?
I appreciated hearing the whole story about parking garage. Thank you. And, welcome night. I miss seeing you downstairs. When I come in, they told me you went to another place in the county, so now I know.
Now we know.
Yeah. That's all I have.
Thank you. All right, so I will look for a motion to adjourn at 1:09.
So moved.
Mr. Vickers, seconded by Mr. Reaver. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise.
Thank you all for coming.
This is-
Sorry.
On October 15th, I may not be here.